Hi my friends and welcome to the video. So today I am going to do a review of one brand, and this is actually a brand that I had when I was younger. So many of you might have also had this when you were younger. It was the ones from DKNY, and I had two of the apples, right? I had the green apple and the red apple. And the red apple these days is pretty hard to get your hands on, so I wasn't able to get it. I don't by any means have the full range, but I have some fragrances that I thought we could talk about today. So if that's something that interests you, keep on watching. And as a quick side note, I am now on TikTok and on Instagram. I'm under the same name, so just look up Olivia Olfactory and you should find me. Also, one other thing before I move on, I've gotten a couple requests to show off my new neck tattoo. People have been wanting to see the full view. Also, I feel like it's blending in with my tattoos, but I am wearing a top. I have clothing on, I swear. It's just it's a dress with like a lower neckline, but let me show you guys the full artwork. So there's the back. I have a very lovely tattoo artist who also did my inner arm, did my neck, and did two big tattoos on my shins. They're all in this kind of pattern here. And yeah, so one day I will be one big tattoo, but don't worry, I'm not gonna do the center of my face or anything. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that because I've had a couple people that are like, hello, are you just gonna ignore that you got this big old neck tattoo and didn't show us? So yes, there it is. Oh, and one more thing. I feel like I get asked a lot what lipstick I'm wearing, so I'll just show you. Is this one from L'Oreal? I don't know. The shade name, it's just the orange one. I don't know. So look for this. Okay, the very first on the list is DKNY Be Delicious. This came out in 2004, and this was the first of the range. We've got Cucumber, Grapefruit, Magnolia, Green Apple, Lily of the Valley, Tuberose, Violet, and Rose, Woodsy Notes, Sandalwood, and Amber. I believe that I got this one as a Christmas gift one year when I was younger, and I felt like the it girl when I wore this. You could not tell me that I didn't smell amazing. So I'm gonna spray it and I'm gonna tell you guys what I get out of it now that my nose is a little more mature. Because keep in mind, I think I was wearing this when I was in middle school, high school. Don't mind me, I'm doing it on a paper towel today because I ran out of blotters. So, okay, so right off the top, you get a really nice watery cucumber that's sweetened up with a green apple. And it's somewhere between a candy apple, slightly artificial scent, and a natural apple. So I wouldn't say that it's full on candy apple scent, but I wouldn't say it's the most natural apple. So it's kind of somewhere in between. As far as the florals in this, I don't get a heavy tuberose. So for those of you who don't care for tuberose, I don't think that this would offend. I get a little bit more of the Lily of the Valley and Violet, just kind of a very light, airy floral. And as far as the amber and woody notes in the base, it tends to dry down very soft while still maintaining that heart note of apple. So I would put this in the category of fruity, slightly green and aquatic, and it's a freshie. The question of the hour is, do I like it as much as I did back in the day? You know, I don't know how old this bottle is that I picked up, but I feel like it's a tiny bit more synthetic smelling to me now than I remember it to be when I was younger. So I don't know if it's because this maybe is an older bottle. I don't know if it was because when I was younger, I wasn't, you know, as in tune with my sense of smell as I am now reviewing fragrances. It's still a lovely scent, would be really nice for spring and summer, particularly on a really hot day. And it's fun, it's fruity and fresh, and uplifting, non-offensive. So I think that this could be an easy reach. Next up, we have Golden Delicious, and this one came out much later. This one came out in 2011, and I'm not familiar with this scent. I mean, I've seen it, I've absolutely seen it, but I haven't actually used it, so I'm gonna give you kind of my first impressions of it. So let's talk notes first. So in the top we have red apple, African orange flower, and plum. Then we have lily of the valley, lily, orchid, and rose, sandalwood, musk, and teakwood in the base. And I don't know if I mentioned, but the last one is a green apple, and then this one is supposed to be a red apple. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, so in comparison to green apple, I can most definitely smell the orange flower in the beginning. It's not heavy because it's made sweet by the red apple, and I think that this one smells more of a natural apple than the previous one. Like I said, the previous one has like a slight bit of a candy apple. This one definitely smells more of a natural apple with an orange blossom in the beginning. And then as I'm smelling more, I'm getting more of that lily coming through. So it's a nice balance between the strength of an orange blossom, which can be a little too much for some people, and then lily tends to be a little bit more delicate. So I would say that the florals are still delicate, it's just not as sweet and bright and juicy as the first one. I really don't get much of the rose at all, and it's got a slightly woody base, but similar to the first one, the woody notes are not prominent, they're just there as a grounding support, but nothing too strong. I think these are both really nice. I could see this one being a little bit more summery since it's very sweet, and then I could see this one being a little bit more springtime because it's a little bit more blossomy, so that's the difference that I'm getting between these. Next up I have from their City collection, and this one is called Chelsea Girl, and this one came out in 2017. The notes in this one are pretty simple. We've got green apple, black rose, orchid, white musk. That's it. The apple is far off in the background. It just is there to add a slight touch of sweetness, but unlike the last two, this one, when you smell it, it's not predominantly apple. That's not the first thing that you're getting. If anything, to me, this is a very simple orchid musk fragrance. I find this one to be less complex than the first two. And quite honestly, I find this one to be pretty generic. It smells good. It's definitely the most floral out of all of them. It's got a slight floral shampoo vibe. And I think that this would be a good beginner floral for like a young person because it's a really light floral. It's gonna be non-offensive. I could see, you know, like a high school student wearing this to school, or maybe even middle school. It's just not mature enough for me. I think that I would have liked this when I was a teenager. And I think that the packaging is really cute. It's got this, you know, these women on it, and you know, it's in pink. It's a really cute, and I love the color of the juice. I like the aesthetic, but it's just too simple for my taste these days. And I think this would be really, really lovely for spring. I just, you know, I want something a little bit more character, you know? It's just fine. But if you like simple fragrances, this might be perfect for you. We have another from the City fragrance. It's a purple color this time, and this one also came out in 2017, and this is called Nolita Girl. Again, pretty simple notes on this one. We have raspberry, violet, magnolia, and sandalwood. So just like its counterpart, Chelsea Girl, Nolita Girl has that raspberry in the beginning, but it's not prominent. It's just there to add a little bit of sweetness to the violet and the magnolia. Again, a very light floral ground down with a little bit of sandalwood. I find these to be very similar in effect. So you would just have to decide what florals you like better. But as far as owning both of these, I don't think that you would need to own both of them because they both have that very slightly fruity floral shampoo, like an Herbal Essences type of shampoo. It's very light, it's very dainty. I can't say is that it would last. That would be my concern with this. So as far as the City collection goes, I don't really care for the City collection as much as these. And I used to have the Red Delicious that was like this, but a red one. And that one was a little bit richer, a little bit deeper, had like a leather note. Not prominent by any means, but it did just give a little bit of depth. It's not quite as bright and aromatic as these ones. It was sweet with a little bit of depth, a little bit of sexiness. I just don't have it with me here, but that's from what I can remember. Mind you, that was a very long time ago. So I'm just giving you off the top of my head what I can kind of remember. And last but not least, we've got these four that were like the apple shape, and then this one is called My NY by DKNY, and like look how cool this cap is. It's like multi-tiered, so it looks like a little cityscape, and then it's the shape of a heart. See? You can see like the shape of it. So I thought that one was really cute, so I picked this one up. Mind you, I picked all of these up at Ross, and all of them were incredibly inexpensive these days because I'm pretty sure most of them are discontinued. So you find them at those discount stores. So this one came out in 2014. And this one is quite a bit different from the other ones. So the other ones were, you know, juicy, sweet, lightly floral, shampoo-y, effervescent, young. And then this one I would say is the most mature out of all of them. So let me read you the notes. This has raspberry, pink pepper, galbanum, let me know if I'm saying that correctly, Egyptian jasmine, freesia, orris root, patchouli, vanilla absolute, musk, and ambergris. You definitely get, upon first spray, a really nice mixture between the sweetness and the juiciness of a raspberry, but then the pink pepper to give it a little punch, a little spiciness. Now, if you guys have watched my videos before, I don't love pink pepper, but this actually works really well to elevate the scent, to give it a little bit more maturity. Out of the florals, I definitely smell the jasmine coming through. And you absolutely, most certainly can smell the patchouli in this. It's got a nice vanillic undertone, and it dries down to a really sexy vanilla musk patchouli with a little bit of sweetness. The way I would describe this fragrance, to give you guys a reference, is if Calvin Klein Euphoria had a baby with Coco Chanel, and then you made it just a slight bit watery, like an Eau Fraiche version. Because I smell kind of the Chypre floral profile of Coco Mademoiselle, and I get a little bit of the rich, deep berry tone of Euphoria, but I feel like if you were to actually combine those scents, it would be kind of a heavy, darker fragrance. So I feel like this is just a little bit more watery. I definitely think it's deeper than all of these, and probably the most interesting out of all of them. This is definitely the most mature. It has the most complex note structure and scent profile, and I think that out of all of these, this would be the one that I would reach for these days. I'll always have a sweet spot for Be Delicious, the original, just because I was young, wore it. You know, it makes me think of like going out with friends and having my first boyfriend, right? Like it makes me think of being young and being happy, and so it sparks a great memory for me. But this one suits me as a woman and not a girl. So I hope that this has been enjoyable to check out some of the DKNY fragrances that I picked up. There are a million flankers of Be Delicious. There are a million flankers. So I'm not going through all of them because although I could go online, I could analyze the notes, I could regurgitate the notes to you guys on camera to give a really, really in-depth view of the entire range, I wouldn't feel right if I didn't have it in front of me to smell. Because the way that we interpret the notes when they're written down versus what we actually pick up on when we smell it can be very, very different. So yeah, I just have 5. But if there's any in the future that you guys are like, no, 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 you have to try this one, tell me, and hopefully I can find it at a discount store, because some of these are just like I've never seen this city collection in my life, but you know, it's cute, so I picked it up. And out of these, I think the ones that I would keep, I would definitely keep My NY. And I would consider keeping these 2. I think the green one just out of nostalgia, and then I definitely would return the City Collection because they're just too light and shampoo-y, and I would rather just have like a body splash in my collection. Feel me? All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and check me out on TikTok and on Instagram. I would love to chat with you guys there. My inbox is always open, and thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.